Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another movie review and a makeup look. If you want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. We're going to be watching My Soul to Take. I will have it playing in the background. So if that sounds interesting, we're going to be getting into it. Make sure you are subscribed. And yeah, we're going to jump into how I got this look right now. So the movie is going to be playing in the background. I have it on like 7, so hopefully it's not too distracting. We're just going to be doing eyes. This isn't going to be a full face this time. I'm going to be trying out the Smoke Show palette from ColourPop. I decided to keep this one, and then I got my camo concealer, and I think I'm going to use a little bit of the Kathleen Lights. This is the Water Bear pigment from ColourPop. So, and we're going to be talking about My Soul to Take. Like I said, I like having the movie playing in the background. Usually I mute it. I'm going to have the sound going, so hopefully that's not too distracting. I'm going to go in with my MAC. That is not my MAC paint pot. This is my MAC paint pot. That is one that I got in a Slay Glam box that I need to try more, but since I haven't tried this palette, I want to use it with a primer and I kind of know how it performs. Now, I like this movie. I think I mentioned it. I feel like there's something in my eye. Oh, there's a hair. Is it? It's like stuck. And I stuck my finger in my eye. I mentioned this movie, I think, briefly in my last movie review, and we're going to be talking about a little bit of the drama going on in the DID community. This movie talks about there's a serial killer who has multiple personalities. Now, if you are familiar with DID, it's dissociative identity disorder is the actual proper name for the term. It used to be known as multiple personalities, and I think it was changed in the 80s to DID. So it is no longer called multiple personalities. Now, movies like this, I think, are harmful for the DID community. So it may be a little bit controversial that I'm even talking about this movie. I think I got the hair out. Yeah, I was trying to get a hair out and I stabbed myself because people think people with DID are like this gentleman on the screen, that they're serial killers or that they can be, you know, scary and harmful. And the movie Split is another one that is harmful in stigmatizing the DID community. I just like it as a horror. You know, it's a good story, but when you're thinking about it from the DID community, no, it's not. Movies like this are harmful for the DID community. There's a lot of drama going on in the DID community. Again, I'm going to be using the Smoke Show palette, so I'm not going to talk about each shade. If you want to know which colors I end up using, leave me a comment and I will add it to the description box. But there's a very popular YouTuber, and I don't follow her, so I don't know how many subscribers she has. Trisha Paytas, however you pronounce, I think it's Paytas. Trisha Paytas is how you pronounce her last name. She did a video where she came out claiming she thinks she has DID. Now, whether or not she has DID, I don't know, because she admits that she's never been to a psychiatrist. She's never been diagnosed. She's self-diagnosing. She dated a girl that had DID, and I do follow her girlfriend on YouTube. I will link her ex-girlfriend's channel down below if I remember. I have watched a few of her videos. I like her. Anyways, her ex-girlfriend did a couple of videos with another gentleman where they were talking about, like, they watched her initial videos and they responded to them. And if I remember, I will leave those down below, because if you want to watch Trisha Paytas's video, I would recommend watching it through somebody else's site. Don't give her the views, because I have my own opinions, and I'm going to try and not say them because I don't want like any backlash or anything, but I think her videos were incredibly harmful to the DID community. Now, granted, I am not a psychiatrist. My original degree was in human services and management. My minor is in psychology. I went back to school and got my cosmetology license, so I work as a hairdresser. So I am not a therapist, but there are a few channels that I do follow that are solely about educating people on DID. The operators of the channel have DID, and I can leave those channels down below also. And they've done a lot, I feel like, in the DID community to kind of help break some of the stigma surrounding DID, make it not quite so scary for people. Because like in this movie, the whole plot of this movie, if you've never seen My Soul to Take, is there's this guy, he's a serial killer. He is murdered, and the day he is murdered, there are 7 children that are born on the same day. Now, and I don't know if this is true in African lore, but they talk about it in the movie where they believed that people with multiple personalities actually had multiple souls. So the whole premise of the movie is these 7 souls that were in this man that was killed go into these kids, and it's people start dying. So it's like, who ended up with the bad soul? Because obviously one of them, if one of them was a serial killer, one of them was bad. So that's the premise of the movie. Now, is that really what DID is? No. DID, if you're not familiar, is a trauma disorder that takes place in early childhood. All children, their personalities are fragmented. Integration happens between the ages of 7 and 9. That is when the personality fully forms in, all the personalities fully form into one. That happens with everybody. Now, if there's intense, severe trauma taking place, the personalities can't integrate and they split. So that is when the different personalities are formed. Amnesia walls go up, and the different aspects of the child's personality form separately rather than one coalesced unit, cohesive, coalesced, fully formed unit. So that is what DID is. People with DID are not dangerous. They're not serial killers. I think somebody with schizophrenia is much more likely to be a serial killer than somebody with DID, and those people aren't just generally necessarily dangerous either. There's a lot of stigma around mental illnesses, even people with bipolar. There's a lot of stigma around it, and so people don't talk about it. So I really applaud these channels of these people that do actually have DID, spreading awareness, educating. I've learned a lot just from the videos I've watched, because I remember in my abnormal psych class reading about, you know, multiple personality disorder, and it was still in the book that I had, it was still referred to as multiple personality disorder. I wasn't even aware that it had been changed, but there are people in the psychiatric community that don't acknowledge that DID is a real thing. Now, it is recognized, and it is in the medical, like, books. I don't know the terminology for that, but there are psychiatrists. There is still debate among psychiatrists. There are ones that don't think that DID is even real. So that debate is still going on, and I think it can be difficult for people that have it to find treatment, because it's hard to find somebody that specializes in it. Now, the percentage of people with DID is actually the same as people that are bipolar. It's about 1 to 2% of the population, and those are diagnosed cases. So you got to think DID is not as rare as we've kind of been led to believe. But the whole point of that was Trisha Paytas came out with this video claiming that she had DID, and a lot of the terminology and stuff she was using in the video was inaccurate. And then she came out with a second video, which was, you know, she supposedly switched between alters on camera. And the whole thing was kind of a mockery I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that she doesn't have DID, but I don't think what we saw on camera was DID. I think it was just her doing like clickbaity, weird things for views. I don't know. But like I said, if you want to watch her initial video, I will link like the response videos that I watched through other channels down below, because don't give her channel any more views on those. Like, really, it's just, I feel like it's just disrespectful, because like I said, these people that actually have DID, that have been diagnosed with DID, that have been out in the community trying to raise awareness, and she just like crushed it in a matter of minutes with these videos that she posted that are incredibly harmful to the community. So yeah, that whole drama's been going on still, I think. Like, so I don't follow her. I see some other channels that I follow post stuff and try to respond to it, and like I said, I know the DID community is probably in upheaval still, and it's caused, her videos caused a lot of damage. So I would say if you are curious about what she posted, watch it through another channel that does like a watch and respond kind of a thing, because I don't think we need to give her any more credence to it. And like I said, this movie is not one that helps the community at all. I get that. I liked the concept of it, but since I've learned more about DID, I understand how movies like this can be harmful, because people do look at individuals with DID as, you know, are you dangerous? Are you going to kill me? Especially like in Split, because one of the characters in Split was also a serial killer. And those are just hard movies, I think, for the DID community as a whole. But this movie, I don't think was very well received. Like, I remember it being in the theater. I don't think I watched it in the theater. I think it came out and I rented it. But this is one of Wes Craven's. It wasn't popular. I don't know why. I always kind of liked this movie, and I liked the guy playing the main character. He was in the Psycho series. He played the older brother. I like him as an actor. So yeah, now we're at the point where all of the kids are celebrating their like 16th birthday, and then murders start happening. And so then they think that Abel Plankoff, the killer, is still alive in the woods, and is he still alive in the woods is one of the kids. So then you don't know. You have to figure out which one of the kids is actually killing people. I won't tell you which one, but one of the kids is actually the bad guy. But if you've never seen it, like I said, it's an interesting movie. Like I said, it's one of those like guilty pleasure movies. Like, I don't know why I like it. But I do. It's on HBO currently. We get HBO through Prime. So if you're interested in watching it and you have HBO or have access to it, that is where it's available currently. That's a really good silver. Kind of glad I'm keeping this palette. I got some silver in my eyeball, but get the darker one. They're trying to figure out if he's still alive, how he could still be alive. I was really sad when Wes Craven passed away. I know a lot of people in the horror fans. I know people he worked with were quite sad. John Carpenter is still with us, but it was a very sad day when Wes Craven passed away. But like I said, this was not one of his more popular films. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this went to the theater, but I don't think it was at the theater very long. And I'm pretty sure I watched it on video after it came out later. I don't think this was one that I went to the theater and saw. Now I wanted to do some blue because there was kind of some blue like in the beginning of the credits. This is a pretty dark movie, so I wanted to kind of keep it kind of gray. So I'm gonna put this like mid-gray down, and then I'm gonna, I think, go in with a little bit of that blue on top. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about a little bit. And like I said, if you're not familiar with DID, I will leave a couple of channels that I like down below. It's very, very interesting. The one girl, her channel's Dissociated. She's from the UK. She's actually switched on camera. She tries to come at it from an educating perspective. Granted, she does have DID herself. She's not a psychiatrist, but she does try to come at it from an educational point, trying to educate people. Okay, and I may go in with a wet brush. Let's just use the ColourPop. It was very nice when I got the whole set of these like Zodiac pigments. It came with a little like travel setting spray. I gave that to my friend, a friend of mine, because I have the full size, but I thought that was very nice because these are definitely more impactful wet. And not everybody has setting spray, so I thought that was nice. And then you got a brush too. So I got this little like flat packing brush, which is also, I thought, was a very nice little, and I only dipped in once. I don't use these pigments much, so I'm probably going to have them until the end of time, until they like turn into rocks, because I don't use them much, and a little bit goes a long way. Like I barely dipped in there. And then I will go back into the smoke palette. Again with that mid-tone gray underneath. I don't know how I feel about the blue underneath, but I like the smoke palette. I still think there's something in this eye though. The liner. I'm just gonna go in. Let me try this Tarte. What is this? Some precision Tarte liner. I don't know if this is still good. There are a lot of little twists in this movie, so I won't ruin it, but you'll get to see some little snippets before I'm done. I don't necessarily like that for doing a wing, but it worked fine on the lid. Just going in with the Hank and Henry liner. That's a little better. So yeah, definitely like leave me some comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you've followed any of the drama going on with Trisha. If anybody's seen this movie, what their thoughts are on it. I have a little bit of mascara lingering. I'm just gonna, since we're using ColourPop, this mascara is about done. I don't like hate the ColourPop mascaras, but they dry out really quick. A good little trick if you have that problem is like saline. You can put saline drops in the mascara, but I don't know if these are even worth bringing back. I don't know that that even did much. That one is so dry. So yeah, that's the finished look. Like I said, I used mostly ColourPop products. It turned out pretty good. I like this palette so far. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the movie. Let me know what you guys thought of things we discussed, what you thought of the look. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. And yeah, hopefully, make sure you're subscribed. Hopefully I'll see you in another video very, very soon. Bye everyone.